Check. There it is. Testing. 1, 2, 3. That's what we'll say when we're launching our rockets. Well, good evening, everyone. Anyone who's here. Artur, welcome back. All right, let's ditch the stream countdown. Oh yeah, here you can see how many mods I have that are not designed to run with this version of the game. So that's partly why things keep breaking, probably. So we are going to jump in and play some more Kerbal Space Program. I should clean up my save games. There's a lot of stuff. But we are a Kerbal Space Program. And last we left off, we had established a nice satellite network around Minmus. And we should have connection no matter where we land on Minmus. So we could design a rover, or we could design a probe that hops to a lot of different spots on Minmus. And we might do a tiny bit more research first, but we've got plenty of money to design pretty much whatever we want. I could also land on Minmus with actual Kerbals. So many options. Re-entry pod, life support, scanning tech. That gets me the core drill, which is pretty handy. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. What all do I want? Oh, the seismic accelerator. That's pretty good for science right there. Nuclear propulsion. I didn't know I could get nuclear already. Wow. And then Gorsat, procedural batteries up to 600 could be nice. I'm also considering these precision ones. Heavier rocketry, we get bigger liquid hydrogen and methane engines. Ooh. You know, we are going to need these bigger engines, so I should probably do that at some point. And then fuel systems is pretty handy because it allows for, well, external fuel ducts, which can do asparagus staging. And then procedural RCS tank is there. So we'd have to do this one, which does have some good thrust plates. How much do I care about these? Not a lot. Procedural fairing's bigger, though. We do need that, actually. Alright, we'll just bite the bullet. We wanted all that stuff anyway. So then, let's see. I guess we want to jump into mission control and see if there's more. Land on Minmus. There we go. Definitely want to do that. Career evolution. Impact Minmus. I mean, part of me wants to just build a thing that dies on Minmus, which could be kind of fun. I guess we should do the Minmus landing contract. And that should get us a lot of money. Okay. So let's design this bad boy. So I might try that methane stuff again. I don't know how small the methane engines go. It's the smallest one. a Hawk. It has an ISP of 382. Fairly low thrust to weight ratio, at least compared to the Spark. The Spark is 130 kilograms with 20 kilonewtons of thrust. So that's like a 1 to 6 ratio in terms of thrust per kilogram. Whereas this is 12, so that's closer to like 1 to 11. However, the extra ISP is very valuable, and we don't need very much thrust when we're on Minmus. And then we could also look at the liquid hydrogen engine, which has a much higher thrust to weight ratio and has 370, a slightly lower ISP. And if I'm remembering correctly, okay, let's throw a couple things down. First of all, do I want the round? Yeah, the round is actually the lightest one. So then, just for comparison again, let's dump two kinds of tanks here, and then we'll compare the Spark versus the liquid methane engine, which is going to be tank type, methane and oxide. The Hawk. That's a longer engine. That is a bit... I mean, that's going to matter for landing, actually. But let's check this out. Okay, so this has delta V of 838. For the same volume of tank, we have a delta V of... Oh, sorry. This is not vacuum. 3557 versus 3467. So there you have it. More ISP and only 655 kilograms versus 767. So more delta V for the same volume and less weight. And that's even 10 extra kilograms for the engine. Yeah, definitely a better deal. The problem is this length. If I do make the probe this way, I'm gonna have to do something interesting where I make this skinnier. Something like this. And then I actually have fuel tanks that extend down. Let's, just for fun. Oh, I finally have the fillet cylinder. That's my favorite shape for really big rockets. So let's actually make them... we'll make them squares. And then we'll extend that down. We should make them methane oxide. Drop that down. And then that's fuel as well. And then we can have some landing legs. I wonder which ones we're gonna need. Potentially the micros. That feels right. Minmus can be pretty annoying, I'm not gonna lie. So you want a wide base versus your center of mass. And there's no reason they need to be down this far. Because we just want to make sure the engine doesn't touch, obviously. So something like this should be fine. Unless there's like a weird bump that we land the engine on. And that's a solid 45 degrees, basically. We could land on like a 45-degree slope and still be okay. Okay. I think the look of that is okay for me. And then that TWR delta V is pretty good. Now the problem is we need all sorts of science gear, which is going to weigh us down. So this is a surface landed biome dependent one. So we definitely need this. Although we don't need 4 of them. So we need that guy. And then surface landed biome dependent magnetometer boom. So we'll throw that guy over here, try to balance it out. We'll have to face that up so it won't get in the way. That looks okay. Okay, so those 2 will be a lot of the science, at least for now. This one can only be run if there's an atmosphere, so that won't work. And then we've got thermometer and barometer, which I'll put on those for now. And we've actually done a good job of keeping the torque low, so that's nice. Then, what else do we need? Panels. So we need lots of solar panels. Okay, not lots. We actually only need a couple. I'll start with 4, but I don't know if I'll end up needing 4. Tilt those down a little bit so we can... maybe I should put them on these. That actually seems like a better idea. Yeah, there we go. Because generally the sun is more above you than to the side of you, so that'll get better coverage. A question I do need to answer is, what's the dark time look like? Where is that? Is that in here? Yeah, dark side and solar calcs. Minmus. Surface darkness time, it's 4.5 hours per day. So unless you're at one of the poles, which I've had happen before and you get screwed over. I've had many rovers get stuck on the North or South Pole because of the solar issue, because it goes behind a hill or something and you can't get solar even when it's quote-unquote daytime. Anyway, 4.5 hours. That's a lot of time. How many seconds is that? I don't even know. So I think we're just gonna expect this thing to not work in the darkness, is what I'm realizing. We are gonna want a battery. Ugh, I still can't make it the right diameter. I can at least... Oh, I didn't actually do the upgrade. That's why. Okay, well, we're not going to use that one then. Use a couple of these guys. Get some more electric charge. And should I do any of these capacitors? I mean, the capacitors only weigh, like, stored charge, we get 800 for only 5 kilograms. So I feel like it would be silly to not have at least, like, 2. Because that'll allow me to transmit science, even if I'm on the dark side. And I can, you know, charge back up my actual energy banks. Those capacitors are pretty great. What's the difference between stored charge and reserve power? Huh. Oh, there's a little tiny battery. Look at that guy. He's so cute. It's funny, only 25 electric charge. Doobie-doo. Am I happy with this? I think so. How much does it tell me the energy requirements of running these? Let's see. Not really. Oh, that one. 20 per second for 4 seconds. So that requires 80 to run. What really matters is the data size, which it doesn't tell me here. Is how many MITs is each data point, because that'll change how much it costs to transmit back. Speaking of transmitting, we need a antenna. So this is where I'm gonna pull up my calculations sheet real quick. Let me pull that up and turn it on here. There we go. Okay, so the thing that I'm gonna use here is just antenna calculations based on ranges of one and ranges of the other. Is that right? Or do I have another one over here? Yeah, I have another one over here. Okay, so trying to remember how this all works. So we have the mothership dealies, which have a range of 200 million meters. So this is gonna be 200. The other one, let's just say it's 2 million meters. Then the max distance is 20, and the link distance would be 2, and that would give us a 97% signal strength, which is plenty. So if I can just have 2 million meters even on the range for this guy, we should be fine. Which, this alone has 2 million meters. And it's 12, so 6 electric charge per MIT. This one is 8 electric charge per MIT, but has a much longer range. That one's only 3 electric charge per MIT, 16 per second. This feels like a much better direct antenna. It's shorter, but in terms of transmitting data, it's cheaper. What else do we got? We got this one, starting to get a little heavier. 10 per second. It's interesting. That's 8 million direct. What about this guy? Um, 5 EC permit. 5 EC permit. That's the 8. I was just looking. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. So that's 8G. That's very intense. Fairly slow bandwidth. I mean, honestly, the speed doesn't matter all that much because I can just... It's not like I'm going to be in any sort of rush. I can just time warp if the transmission's taking longer. So in all honesty, I should probably just settle for a pretty light direct antenna. Like this one. Just a classic Communitron, 2 million direct. Now the issue with that is Minmus is like 100 the distance. Oh, sorry, I still had the calculations up. That's okay, I was just looking at antennas. So Minmus is, let's look at the bodies list here. Minmus is 150 million away. So if we can only reach 20 million away from our probes, then we're gonna have a dead zone between Kerbal and Minmus, and I don't love that. So I'd prefer to have a slightly stronger direct, maybe this one, because then if the second range is 20, we get a maximum distance of 63, which is a lot better versus the max distance of 20. Now, are these combinable at all? Combinability exponent 1. Yeah, so that means we could have 2 of them. Now they need 34 electric charge an hour. That's basically nothing. So can this fix our torque, or is this a massless part? Seems to be physics-less to me. Okay, so we've got all this going. It's a little Minmus probe. It should land. We've got solar panels for electricity. Probably too many solar panels, to be honest. They're pretty light, but we're not going to need 4 of them. I don't love having just 2, though. I don't know. I think it's fine. Bada bing, bada boom. I think we're pretty good. Let's just give ourselves a bit more delta V by increasing the diameter slightly on these. Yeah, 2500 feels good. And our TWR on Minmus is 26, so I think we'll be okay. Minmus is hilariously easy to land on. Okay, and then we'll retract these. And this is it. This is the probe. So we just need to get this to Minmus. Pretty easy, right? So then the key to that is let's switch this back to Kerbal. Oh my gosh. Guys, I'm so sorry. Oof. I have it over there on my side screen, and I turn on the preview so that I don't forget to do that, and then I do. Okay, so all I did was increase the radius of these liquid tanks and retracted the legs. So our delta V is 2500. That should be quite a few hops around Minmus. And then we are going... Did that change, though? I gotta double check. Oh, those are still good. Okay, so now we need a decoupler. Module coupling. Decoupler. VO6. And then... this is the part of the pod that should be in a fairing. Although, maybe the next... I don't know. It's always tough, because, like... I could make the stage below it and then put the whole thing in a fairing, but then the fairing's adding more weight than it needs to be. So I never totally understand the most efficient way to do that. Who really knows? So let's just throw the fairing here. And procedural fairing. Got the egg shape again. Go with conic on this one. And we need a smidge of extra radius. Just a tiny bit. Fit those feet inside. Okay. And then this guy... Oh, you know what I haven't checked is the electric charge cost on this bad boy. It says 0.00. That's very unhelpful. So that means at most we're spending like 1 electric charge a minute to keep it from boiling off. I guess we'll find out if that actually works. This mission could be a huge failure. Even more fun. Okay, so what engine do I want to use for this stage? First of all, we got a mass of about 1 ton. So we'll go up to a mass of about 5 tons. And probably the Terrier is a good one for this. Oh yeah, look at that delta V. Beautiful. This is the stage that's gonna need the ability to maneuver, though. We don't have those RCS fuel tanks yet. I could just mostly empty that. That's an extra 100 kilograms that I don't love. 3205 compared to 3330. I mean, that loses me like 100 something delta V. But the best option I have, I guess, for now. Man in control, RCS thruster, or RCS build aid, rotate. Oh, there it is. We want attitude. Okay, there we go. So torque, we want to be at a maximum 2276. Is that enough? 2 kilonewton meters of thrust for 6. I feel like that should be enough. Maybe this is too small. Maybe I should use those. No, that'll be okay. Alright, so now we've got 3000 delta V, which is more than enough for a Minmus transfer and landing. Let's see, what was the cost again? I think it was only 2,000 to like get to Minmus and even do the suicide burn at the end. So this can even give me a tiny bit of the circularizing action. So then we'll do one more decoupler. If I can find it. And do one of these guys. We should probably make it a little bigger. Let's actually do the fillet cylinder. Oops. Okay, so we can get a lot of extra volume from that fillet cylinder. And then the engine on the bottom should probably be... Is a Kiwi too big? I don't think so. That's actually... That's a good one. Maybe. Maybe that shouldn't be a Kiwi. Maybe that should be a swivel. I mean, what's the weight difference? It's barely anything. Swivel is just more efficient. Huh. 2545 versus 2342. Yeah, that's 200 delta V that I keep. Okay, so this stage has 2500, so we just need the stage below it to have roughly 1,500 to 2,000 should be enough to get me to Minmus. So I am partial to building, I don't know what you call them, vertical rockets, like rockets that are just, there's no side detaching. I think that's pretty cool. So let's see if we can make that happen. So we'll do that, and then I'll do a structural adapter. And then this bottom stage will just be a good old... This is probably way too big, but skipper. Actually, that's not too crazy. I feel like we should use one of the 1.875 meter engines rather than the straight to twice the size. What's the... I guess I can even just use a liquid fuel tank as a cone. Top, bottom, 1.875. And we'll let that be a meter long. And then we'll get this guy, that's 1.875. And then we need an engine that fits, which is Bobcat. Is that the only one? Not a great delta V. Huh. The problem is we're not even doubling the previous stage's mass. Generally, I feel like you should triple to quintuple previous stage's mass to get better delta V amounts. So for this one, that would be a much longer. Much longer. And are we already over the length limit? We're actually not. We can go up to 36 meters, which is pretty crazy. But the problem now is the TWR. We just don't have the lift thrust necessary. So at this point, we might actually need, let's see, 290. I don't know, would 2 Bobcats be enough? Let's see if we can make that work. Structural. The problem with these is if you scale them up with tweak scale, they get really heavy. Yeah, I mean, it's an extra 400 kilograms, but... So that's a little better. I mean, there's definitely plenty of delta V. Rotate these so the swivels make a little bit more sense. And I mean, that could be it, our little Minmus probe. Look at that. Beautiful. Alternately, instead of 2 Bobcats, I could just use a MOA, which is one of the Space Y lifters. A little bit worse efficiency, but basically double the thrust for a tiny bit more weight. Maybe that's the route to go. We've also got the good old twin bore engine, which is crazy. And I could also just do solid boosters, which isn't crazy. So this stage is costing me what? 20 grand for 2200 of delta V. What if I just use some kickbacks? I mean, one of them only cost me 2700. So what if I just had a little cluster of them and they all went at once? Wait, what? Yeah, there we go. It's a lot cheaper. Only 13,700. And we still get our 2200 delta V. So maybe we should just do that. It doesn't quite look as cool though. And do these have a gimbal? They do have a gimbal, so I'm okay on that front. We would need some aerodynamics, nose cone. And I'm probably gonna feel better if we have some fins on the bottom. Just to keep everything running. Those are expensive. 2,000 just to put 4 of those on. We should have an auto strut to the root grandparent part. And then here, this guy should get auto strut to root part. This guy should get auto strut to root part. Should help a little bit. A little bit of an issue starting at a TWR of 2 and ending at one of 7.17. That's a little crazy. But I think that'll be okay. So, this is a Minmus hopper 1. So we launch, decouple, swivel goes, that gets us into orbit mostly. And then we decouple, the Terrier goes, that finishes up our orbit and will get us to Minmus. With plenty extras, but we could probably even land on Minmus once or twice with that thing. And then we pop that fairing, and then we go. Now, well, we can pop the fairing much earlier. The other question I have is, does this pod have any... No, it has no, what's it called? Reaction wheels. And not having any reaction wheels feels bad, for sure. We don't have to have a lot, but even just one of these or 2 of them can make sure that I can more easily control things without RCS. And without the engine. So it's a good thing I remembered that, because this top section doesn't have any RCS. Alright. So that should do it, I think. I wonder if this was a bad idea. The cost. Because I have 5 of them anyway. Maybe I should have just gone with the other route. We get a better TWR this way, though. Gosh. I'm curious if we're going to explode because of that extra high TWR towards the end. But I guess we'll find out. We'll auto strut those too. Alright. Here we go. Let's go to Minmus. Unable to launch. What? We are too heavy by 130 kilograms. After all of that work. That's hilarious. So these, I'm gonna have to attach to the middle one because I can't have 4 of them. That's actually kind of hilarious. It was that close. I'd say we hit our weight limit. That's what I'd say. Oh, man. Tired on a Friday night. What is becoming of me? All right. So we're ready to go on that front. We would like to do the thing we did last time, where we find where the moon plane meets the Minmus plane, which is here. And then we want to be lined up with that. So right about here-ish, because we'll go up and then circularize somewhere around here. All right. Save game. Quick save, Minmus, Hopper, pre. And here goes nothing. Will we explode horribly? Wait to find out. Okay, I mean, launch was successful. That's good. I'm gonna vector over just a smidge. We are wobbling like crazy. I miss Kerbal joint reinforcement. Okay, we're not wobbling like crazy, but we're definitely wobbling. I'm gonna continue pitching over because the TWR is getting pretty high. Keep towards the right side of the little prograde marker here. Maybe I can just jam orbital prograde. Yeah, there we go. Still gonna be too much. Ooh, we wobbling. Oh my gosh, we need struts. Okay, that was not what we hoped for. Our apoapsis is a bit too high. And I'd like some struts. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Kerbal joint reinforcement. Let me pull up CCAN real quick. Is that showing up? Doesn't seem to be showing up. I thought CCAN would show up for some reason. I have it set up, but it's just not appearing. Let me just look real quick. Kerbal joint reinforcement. Yeah, I mean, the latest version was December of 2020. But I should probably try it. I don't know why I haven't downloaded it. Let me go to their homepage real quick and find out if there's any current news. Let's see. The last thing I heard, or we heard from the forums, is that it is still working, but that was back in a while ago. I'll have to try it, because this wobbliness is really rough. Noodle rockets, structural, and let me close out of that. Go. Okay, so struts. So we'll start with struts from here up to here. What? That's the second time that's happened. The click-through blocker is like malfunctioning or something. I literally just clicked once. I was very careful to only click once. I have no idea what's happening. So I place the strut. I want to connect it here. I click, and then it picks up the part below it. That's a fun glitch. I don't even know how to avoid it. How do I avoid this glitch? clicking and moving the mouse doesn't work. How did I place struts before? Like, what if I place them on each other? Nope, does the same thing. What the heck? Oh, now it's connected. This is really fun. We should do this again sometime. I don't know why this is happening. What if I right click first? What if I click and hold? Well, that just didn't accomplish anything. Click and hold. Let go. Doesn't actually seem to be working now. Click, hold, let go. Oh my gosh. What on earth? Like, I don't even know what could be happening. Clearly something is broken. I don't know what it is. It's probably not click-through blocker, but I mean, I've never had problems with struts before. I feel like this happened in my last stream too. At that point it was a very fresh and new thing. Now it's very clear that this is a normal occurrence and I don't know how to fix it. Okay, that time it just picked the strut back up. What on earth? Oh my gosh. Okay, well. So much for using struts. Literally can't. What if we change the variant? Does that somehow help? Nope. What's funny though is it works when you put it back on, so maybe we'll just settle for that. Okay, now it's just picking up the strut again. Whew, this is bothersome at best. So I think I'll settle for auto strut. Let's do rigid attachment. Maybe that's what we want. I don't know if any of that will help, but maybe it will. Don't know why so many problems with auto struts, or I mean the actual struts. I've never had problems with those in previous versions of KSP. It's a weird problem too. It's hard to see how mods could be causing that one, because that feels like such a core functionality of the game that's broken. But I mean, that's just like half of Kerbal Space Program. As much as I love this game, it has been a very buggy game, and even more so with mods. Okay, fast forward to about here. Save game. 3 Minmus Hopper 2. All right, let's try it out. Okay, we're gonna start tilting over now. Go to 10 degrees almost immediately. The good news is this whole thing is very aerodynamic, so seems to be flying well. Get over 20 degrees for a little bit. And then we'll switch to orbital prograde. Hopefully that's not too much. Oh, no, I think we're okay, actually. All right. And apoapsis is staying a bit lower. Okay with that. All right. So let's eject here. Blast off to the next stage. In this case, we can almost jettison our fairings. Where are they? Fairing. Beep. All right, and then we're gonna want, where are they? Panels extend. All right, and then we are going to wait until we're about a minute from apoapsis to continue any thrusting. We still went a little bit too high, but in this case, I think we're okay. All right, and let's extend this bad boy. Might as well do the landing gear. We'll need it eventually. And we're all set for our interplanetary journey. Should have started a little bit earlier, it seems. I'm going to continue with this 5-degree angle even after we pass the apoapsis, just to help keep up some vertical speed. Hopefully it works. I mean, vertical speed's still dropping, but we're getting closer. We're only about 1,000 meters per second away from orbital speed. And we've got, at least this time, we've got plenty of elevation or altitude to play with, which is also nice. Oh, I should also be targeting Minmus and be checking my inclination. Can help out my relative inclination a lot. Okay, vertical speed's coming back up. Sweet. So we'll go back to pretty much horizontal. Eccentricities jumping down. Relative inclination is better, but still not amazing. Let's see, how are we looking? Okay, so vertical speed is good. Still helping my relative inclination by doing this. Eccentricity is down to 1%. 0.5%. Okay, 0.1%. That's fine with me. All right, so now we just need a Minmus intercept. It's over here. Like I said, I generally give it somewhere around from a vertical, which is not how degrees are measured, I guess a 60-degree angle, measured like normal math angles. So we'll start here and just go for it and see what happens. Okay, decrease the scale a little bit, slow down. Minmus is basically outside of the sphere of influence of Kerbal. Like, it's pretty close. Okay, we'll slow down just a smidge. Gosh, this is so hard to edit. Back in time, is that helping or hindering? Not actually sure. Oh, that's hindering. Okay, we gotta go forwards. Okay, ascending node, that's actually a problem right now, 4.2. So we can decrease that. .7's a bit better. Slow down a bit. Bring this forward. Slow down a bit. See, we're gonna pass above it. So what we can do is add a second node here where we drop down. And that ends up helping a lot. And then on that one, we need some radial. I think. The wrong direction, maybe? No, that's the right direction. There we go. Now, what's that second node? This is showing me... Okay, a total of a few hundred. That's not great. I'd rather not waste a few hundred. Let's just move this one forwards a tiny bit. That should help. Okay. Huh. Really messed up with the inclination piece, didn't I? There's a moon encounter. I'm gonna do one more orbit, and that should maybe help things a little bit. Yeah, 3.6 is still the best we're getting. Well, now I've gone and messed things up. Okay, let's just try this again. We'll extend about here. And then... Oh, we need to fix our ascending node, though. Okay, so that's as small as we're gonna get it. Then it's actually right here that we want another maneuver to completely fix the ascending node. There we go. For another 171. And then that will get us on the exact same plane as Minmus. And there's an encounter. Okay, so let's just do that. Start burn in 30 minutes. So here we go. Dark side. I just realized I'm going to lose fuel. Huh, well, okay. We're going to have to be careful about that. The whole methane boil-off thing, I wasn't really thinking about that when I was thinking about how I'd run out of power on the dark side, but it'd be fine because I just wait for more power. I was forgetting that I could lose fuel if I run out of power, which is not great. Let's see. Let's get oriented. Oh, those are really not effective because they're still kind of in the middle. We're just gonna have to use the engines. I mean, we're slowly turning. Two, one, burn. And we can point at our maneuver node. Oh. There's barely any of that stage left. Okay, here we go. Base probe to Minmus. Okay, so I think everything's good to go. We still have tons of Delta V on this stage. Very peaceful. Peaceful burn. $500 more Delta V. $300. It's amazing that that last couple hundred Delta V takes your orbit from that to like the edge of the sphere of influence. Okay, slow down just a little bit so we can stay aligned. Maneuver node. And 9.5.4.3. close enough. Bam. Okay, the next one is 12 minutes from now. It's crazy that what I can't do here, I can do in 12 minutes. It's just crazy. So let's go forward a couple minutes. Oh, science. Where's my science alert? I guess I've never done these. Sweet. I mean, free science. Oh yeah, we lost that stage, of course. Okay. A couple minutes more. Goodbye, little blue marble. A big blue marble at the moment, but... Alright, hopefully our RCS turns us a bit better. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Bam. So, I was about to say, we hopefully have an encounter with Minmus. So I'd like to, yeah, continue bringing this closer. Looks like I'm doing it. Bam. Perfect. Funny, even just the RCS turning me. What I'd really like. Yeah, there we go. That's getting it. Is to impact the surface and just do a suicide burn. There we go. Alright. So we'll just do a suicide burn when we get closer to the surface. This stage should have plenty of fuel. I'll do a quick save, but we should just be able to go straight there. See the large blue marble to become a small blue marble. And the tiny Minmus dot, which is, where is it? I don't even see it. That's probably the moon right there. Yeah, that's the moon I'm seeing. Minmus is like back to the right here somewhere. I don't even know. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I see it. In the oh so distant distance. We're getting there. It'll come. Oh, wait, no. I was looking at the wrong thing. I found it. Okay, so suicide burn, countdown, 3 hours. Ooh, okay. Let's quick save again. We'll see how accurate the suicide burn indicator is. Okay. First thing to do is retrograde compared to surface. There we go. And then estimated burn, this one says 30 seconds, 600 meters per second of delta V. Suicide burn countdown. This is where I quick save, and we hope for the best. I'm gonna hit it when that countdown hits 0, and let's see how accurate it is. When you're coming at an angle, sometimes it doesn't work right. But let's just test it out. Because this is the most fuel efficient maneuver, is only spending fuel when you have to. And that way you're fighting against gravity for a shorter amount of time. Ooh, are we gonna make it? It's definitely gonna be close. Oh yeah, totally made it. Sweet. Okay, well that worked. Let's actually get a little closer. Small amount of thrust, just to stay straight up and down. Let myself fall. Got 300 meters, 250. 150. 100. Slow down just a bit. 6. I'm gonna limit thrust here so I can have a bit more fine control. I'd like to land at about 2 meters a second. There we go. We've landed. Deploy all. Send, 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 send. All right. There we go. We still have 1,000 meters a second left on this big boy. And I guess we don't really have a reason not to use it. So we know where the biomes are. This is the key. So we can show the biome map. And this can help us see where the different biomes are. So right now we are in the basins biome, but there's a lowlands biome here. And we want to go towards the sun, I think. So we want to go to the east. So let's start by aiming for this lowlands to the east. And there should be, let's see, it's probably in here, surface, impact biome. Okay, we have that one. Because impact biome is going to help us know which way. Now, east is 90, so we actually go to the left on our nav ball. Until we see impact biome change. And I usually go at like 20 or 30 degrees. Most of my speed is horizontal. Okay. Do some more thrust here. Pump it back up to a higher amount. There we go, lowlands. And I usually overshoot it a little bit because when you start slowing down, obviously at that point, you end up losing some of the overall distance that it thought you were going to travel. Okay, so we'll fast forward a bit here. Impact time, we got 2 minutes. Although it's not perfect at seeing the terrain, so you got to keep a close eye on it. Okay, so we're officially in the lowlands, so I'm going to unlimit the thrust just for now. Pin that. Quick save again. Whee! Let's try spinning. That's a good trick. Okay, suicide burn countdown. Yeah, I mean, we have 20 meters per second of thrust, so it's only 5 seconds of thrust to completely cancel out my speed. So the impact time can literally be 5 seconds. And we can still stop that. Basically stop on a dime. Okay, we'll get down to 10 and then a slow amount of thrust. Let's reduce that down. Bit slower, bit slower. Okay, it's a little bit of a hard hit. No! Can't quite get up. That's the annoying part. I don't have enough attitude control to actually land and then change direction. So I gotta be a little more careful this time. Oh, come on. No! Jeez. It can be so hard to cancel out your horizontal velocity. Here we go. Much better. Oh yeah, RCS is not going to help. Just deploy all. Well, we got them all. That's funny. Okay, so continuing on to the east, I think is where we want to go. Yeah, north and east until we hit the highlands, which is actually pretty far. So we'll go at like, I don't know, bit of an angle here. Go to the horizon. Oh, brown basins. Perfect. Oh, I went too far. Dang. I have such a high acceleration, I wasn't really paying attention. Oh well. How's it going, Private Hopscotch? Are you enjoying the peaceful landings on Minmus with an extra stage attached to our butt? We built such a nice lander, and because gravity is so low here, we're just landing on basically a pogo stick. Okay, we have a lot of time. Speed up here. Basically going halfway across the planet. Woo! That's a lot higher than I intended to go. Exactly. You know, I have all this Delta V. I might as well use it to get to a few more biomes. It's not quite as doable with certain other planets because it's too hard to balance, but Minmus is definitely one where you could land on a 30-foot pole if you wanted to. Okay, impact time. Why does 57 minutes not sound correct to me? Yeah, it just updated to 1. What the heck? As soon as I go into time warp, it says 55 minutes. That's really weird. This one here is accurate, impact in 60 seconds, but the suicide burn one, while I'm under time warp, is giving me the wrong numbers. Alright. Estimated burn is 10 seconds. That's lining up At least these two agree. This is the better burn time mod, I think, and this is, you know, Kerbal Engineer Redux, so they're coming from different places. I also have my capacitors if I need them. Near future systems. Use that for the nuclear reactors. Okay. Trying to slow down a little bit here. Impact 5, 6. Okay, time's going up. That's good. Slowly, slowly, gently, slowly. Okay, let's limit some thrust. Basically just want to fight gravity. Keep our surface speed right there, 2.8, that's perfect. Bam. Oop. Small little bounce. Touchdown, deploy all. Send, send, send. Send. And lift off again. Just enough time to get some science. Alright, and then where do I go next? Where even am I? I'm here. Give myself a second. So we want... Oh, not that one. This one. Brown Basins, Brown Midlands, Brown Highlands. Okay, so I guess go south a tiny bit for the regular Highlands. Let's do that. Oh, Brown Highlands, Highlands. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm just gonna jettison this next stage. Tired of it. We still have 2453 Delta V. That is awesome. I'm gonna be able to hit like pretty much all of the biomes, I think. Or at least a lot of them. Ah, this turns much more nicely now that we don't have all that dead weight. Okay, make sure our engine's ready to go. All right, so we should land in the Highlands. That's the hope. Okay. We're in the Highlands now. Guess I can kill my horizontal velocity. I'm gonna have to kill that at some point anyway. Oh, no sound effect for the engine? That's weird. Something's glitching, I'm sure. All right. Oh, there's the debris flying, continuing to fly past us. We've slowed down. All right. Impact in 10 seconds. Slow it down a bit. Okay, altitude decreasing 50, 40, 30. Nice and easy, 2 meters a second. Ah, beautiful. Now this is what we wanted to see. That's screenshot worthy right there. Perfect. Okay, we'll do our science. Send it in. All right, and we want to go back north, I think. Lift off. Woo! Okay, tilt over. And what do we got? Impact biome, Brown Highlands. Sounds good to me. Crazy just how a tiny amount of thrust gets you so far you're not going to land for another 2 minutes. Okay, we are officially in the Brown Highlands now. What are these things flying around? Is that a floating rock? I think that's a floating rock. Nice. All right. Don't become a crater. Don't become a crater. Slow down a bit. And we are landing in just a couple seconds. Hold tight, folks. Look at that. Beautiful 1 meter per second landing. Chef's kiss. And yeah, JNSQ does all sorts of stuff. Although, didn't they... It's been so long since I've played Vanilla Planets, I actually don't know, because I always used Galileo, or, yeah, I think it was the Galileo Planet Pack before this. Didn't they add Minmus biomes to the regular game, too? Or are these actually only in JNSQ that we have these, brown midlands and basins and stuff? I mean, JNSQ adds a ton of planets, too. I don't know if you... I guess I haven't really shown everybody this kind of stuff, but the core system is similar, but then there's all sorts of new planets. There's still Moho, Eve, Duna, but then there's Edna, and then Drace, Jewel, those are normal, I think. And we've got Lindor, Hammock, Elu is still out there, and Nara, which is like way far out there. I don't even know how many, is that giga? Is that millions of meters? I don't even know how many zeros that is, but it's a lot. Anyway, yeah, JNSQ is pretty sweet. Gotta design some serious spaceships to get that far out there. But back to our little corner of the solar system for the time being. Where else do we need to go? I keep hitting the wrong button. So we just did Brown... Oh, we need Brown Midlands is next. Or Brown Highlands? Shoot. Where's my checklist here? So now we want landed Minmus. And why does it... Do I have to close it and open it again? Like, why is it not updated? There we go. Okay, so we need Brown Lowlands, Brown Highlands, Mountains, Poles, Midlands. So we've got most of them. We've got 5 more biomes total. So Brown Lowlands should be close along with the Brown Highlands. Looking at our location now, this is where it can get a little tricky, and I actually like to open up the map and then zoom in. This zoom map is really handy, especially for when you have a rover. You can create the waypoints from here and then use Bon Voyage, and the rover will go to those waypoints automatically. I love Bon Voyage. It makes rovers actually fun. Okay, so there's actually the regular highlands right there. We already got that. Brown highlands and brown... So if I just go south like a tiny smidge, I'll be in the brown highlands. So let's just do that real quick. Oop. The feet kind of get stuck. These lander feet. So just a smidge south should be brown highlands. There it is. Showing up there on the impact biome. Do a little somersault on the way there. Yep, ScanSat's awesome. I mean, just being able to do this is so cool. It changes the game. I mean, some mods are just like, okay, there's new parts, that's cool, but mods like this are like almost an entire game in and of themselves. Bon Voyage combined with ScanSat creates an entirely new dynamic that the base game doesn't even have. So, I love it. Alright, we are so slow to get back down to the ground. Beep, beep, beep. Slowing down. Don't become a crater. Okay. Yeah, it's like the feet are sticking in. What is going on with that? I don't totally understand. There's like all sorts of, you know, spring strength, damper strength, all sorts of stuff that I don't totally understand. Like maybe auto struts should be off. I don't know. Whatever. We're just doing science. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, so now we need what? Brown lowlands. Okay. Where are those? There's a tiny strip. Like tiny, tiny strip to the north. And then there's also a chunk over to the northeast. But I'm gonna go for that tiny strip. Let's see if we can make that happen. Brown lowlands, here we come. Get unstuck. Let's tilt over, gotta go north. Brown midlands. If we see brown basins, we've gone over it. Brown midlands, still. Brown lowlands, brown basins. Okay, there it was. So hopefully with our slowing down towards the end of this little flight, we'll end up right where we want to be. In the brown lowlands. It's a view down the barrel of a magnetometer. Woo! I don't know what a magnetometer is or why it has to be so long, but it seems pretty cool. Okay, brown midlands. We should see our biome switch pretty soon to brown lowlands. There it is. Okay, slow down. Slow down there, Nelly. Kill that horizontal velocity. Wait till we're going straight down. There we go. This will be a nice and easy landing. Ta-da! Bam. All right. as long so the stuff on the craft doesn't interfere. I mean, that makes sense. It's got to get out there and do its own thing. And in this case, we don't have any humans to carry it around, or Kerbals. Alright, so... small map. We still need... Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. The way you said it kind of sounded like the opposite of what would make sense. So I figured it was the opposite. Okay, so we need what? Midlands, mountains, and poles. Shouldn't be too bad. So checking this out. Midlands, we've just got down here. Where are mountains? So the poles are up there. That makes sense. You know, that's what poles are. Mountains. Not seeing mountains. Mountains, 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 mountains. Sometimes you can find it easier on the zoom map. If we zoom out. And you can see down here which, what are those called? Biomes are in the picture you're looking at, and then you can kind of find them via that. So there's mountains in that picture, but that's like half the planet, so... Okay, so mountains are to the right, I guess? So where are they in this picture? There they are. Mountains. So there's like little chunks. So let's zoom in further. Okay, there's one. So let's go for that one. So we want to waypoint selector mountains. Bam. Okay, then that should help us find it. Set. I always forget to do that and then I lose it. Okay, so we need to go a decent amount away. Is that still on the sunny side? No, it's not. That's unfortunate. Are there mountains on this side of things? Let's at least see if there's any mountains. It's not showing any in that whole square. Guess not. Okay, well, off we go around to the east with a smidge of south. Should get me there. East is 90 degrees with a smidge of south, so that's actually this way. Maybe about this angle? I have no idea. We've still got 1800 meters a second of delta V, so that's good. And then, okay, we've got a little bit too much south. Open the drawbridge just a little bit. Okay, we need some north, actually, back in this equation. There we go, we're getting there. Bit more north. Perfect, perfect. Overshoot just a little bit. Hopefully that's enough time for suicide burn. Okay, it looks like we'll be close to on target. I see the white spots now that are mountains on this map. Oh, there was one up here. I should have gone for that one. It's right next to the poles. And then wasn't it just Midlands that I need? So I can, like, get that up here and do Midlands and poles in a row. And it'd be done. Okay, well, it'll be interesting to see how the power works. I might have to use some of that reserve power once we go dark. So I'm going to do a real save real quick. And then we will fast forward a bit because we're still a ways away from landing on said mountains. And our electric charge is something we need to pay attention to. I forgot about something important. We're gonna load quick save 3 real quick. I forgot that the planet rotates underneath you when you do this. So if you're doing a longer hop, by the time you land, the planet's in a different spot. That's kind of important. Okay, give me that overlay back. That was actually very helpful in seeing the planet on the dark side. So we actually need to go further than expected. By something like that amount of margin. Okay, let's try that. Okay, you can actually see it happening. It's really funny. Ooh. Wow, I got that like just right. I'm impressed. I don't think I could do it better again if I tried. Okay, how's our electric charge? We're doing okay so far. So I assume that's the mountain in question, because we're not in the mountains right now, and it sure feels like we are. Got a 15-second suicide burn. We're still at 1660 delta V, so I think we'll have plenty to hit the other 2 biomes and have finished our Minmus biome hopping. I'm going to have a little bit more vertical as I try to cancel the horizontal, just to make sure I land in the mountains. We're definitely getting close. So I guess we gotta try to land in this little bowl thing. Looks like we're headed for right about here. Ooh boy. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're in the mountains officially, so I can land anywhere now. This actually seems like a decent spot. The slope isn't too bad. We should be able to handle a fairly big slope. That's always a risky endeavor, landing on a slope. Alright. Not become a crater as usual. Oh, there we go. We landed. Okay, I couldn't quite tell how much we still had to go. Alright, science alert. Where are you at? Bam. Play all. That's going to take some electricity. And what I'll do is I'll set the discharge rate to 40. Transmit that. Set this to discharge. Transmit the others. And I think we're good. Unfortunately, you can't stop the discharge. But that's what the capacitors are for. And then you can enable recharge and it'll suck the energy off of the craft. Which can be handy because then you can get a little bit of stored charge back in case you need that 80 later. Because it's all or nothing when you discharge it. But on recharging, you can be a bit more nuanced. So now we want to go north until we basically hit poles as our impact biome, and then we'll stop ourselves a bit short to land in the Midlands. So north we go. Also, I just want to say I'm really happy that our, what's it called? Our satellites that we established have worked perfectly. And we haven't had any issues. Okay. We are in communication with Minmus Relay Sat 2 at the moment. Alright. Probably a little bit east, actually. I really wish I had done one or two more of these gyroscopes. Highlands, poles. Can I get a Midlands? Jeez. There it is, Midlands. Okay. We still got plenty of Delta V. That does not look like the Midlands to me. We need some west, actually, which is where we're facing. So we want the, like, the normal... Or is that anti-normal? I can never keep the two straight. But we want normal plus retrograde, not normal plus prograde. Whatever, we can just go to the poles first. That's fine too. What would be nice even, let's fast forward a bit here, is if we got sunlight back and then we could recharge our capacitors. Might go high enough to get sun, but doesn't quite look like it. Turns out to be a good thing that I brought... Oh, I'm in the Midlands right now. I could just stop here. Oh, there's the sun. Here comes the sun. Do-do-do-do. Let's just stop here. I still have the other capacitor. I can just use that. Oh, it says impact biome highlands. What? I'm in the Midlands right now. There we go. No, stop giving me highlands. Oh, it's doing that thing again with the time warp. That's so... I don't understand what's happening there. I've never seen that before. Glitchy time warp. Okay. Bam. Suicide burn. Let's go. And then soft and easy from there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Little boost. Slow it down to 5 meters a second. Slow it down a bit more. Perfect. 1 meter a second. Let's go. Beautiful landing. Okay, deploy all. This is the capacitor that's ready to go. So we will transmit, 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 transmit. And then we can discharge the capacitor. I don't even think I really needed it. Maybe just another battery or two would have been fine, but it's more fun this way. Okay, and then we'll just go north to the poles, and we will be good to go. That should do it. All right. Wow, every single biome in all of Minmus with one probe hopping biomes. That's pretty impressive. That's quite a lot of delta V that we've needed for that process. Oh. We must have gotten solar for a second. Or no, that was just the discharging. Oh, there's solar. Here, enable recharge quick. Okay, well that should help. Plenty of electricity. Perfect. Siphoned off just enough from the sun. We stole its juice. Alright, this should be it. I'll do one last quick save, and we can land and transmit some science. I assume I have a lot of money. Those contracts aren't there anymore. Thank you. It's been a fun journey. Although this is still one of the early missions. I don't know how far I'll get in this playthrough. Songs of Six has been really fun, and there's a part of me that just wants to play that instead of Kerbal Space Program. As much as I love Kerbal Space Program. But, I would like to go to one of those JNSQ planets that are really far out. So it's also possible I might just cheat for some technology to get a little farther. But there we go. Successful landing on the poles. Deploy all our science. Transmit it. We'll discharge one last capacitor just to make sure we get enough juice to transmit all that. And bada bing, bada boom. What's our science at? Ooh, we are at over 1,000 now and almost 2 million funds. So this was a very lucrative and profitable mission. Delete that waypoint. Minmus has been figured out. So we should be able to go back to the Space Center, do some cool researches. And I'm guessing what I should do... Again, it kind of depends on how many more sessions I think I'm going to play. Because a manned moon landing would be a really good science mission. And that would require a few more technologies. And I would want to upgrade this so I can place flags, and I can already do the surface samples. But then that would be one that would return. So that requires a lot more planning and delta V. But we could do it. We could get landing struts. We could upgrade. Oh wait, I unlocked procedural RCS tanks on purpose and then forgot that I had them and didn't use them. That's hilarious. I could definitely get heavier rockets. Actuators, which I've never really used the stock actuators, but they're probably cool. Re-entry pods might be what I end up using potentially, or the classic Mark 1. All right, man, thanks for joining. It's been fun. Feel free to leave a comment on YouTube or stop by when I'm streaming again. It's fun to have people. Enjoy your sleep. All right, we do need more science, though. I think that seismic accelerator is a big deal. So I'm going to start with that. And then heat management would be good once I get nuclear power. Huh. Where does it show how much heat these make? I feel like it should, but it doesn't. Nuclear propulsion. So much nuclear propulsion. See, that one has the active radiator specs. Oh wait, this one has a radiator as part of it. Interesting. Huh. High power electrics. Get some serious panels. Better batteries. Huge capacitor banks. Scanning tech. The mystery micro goo is pretty good. Now, I've never really succeeded with the seismic sensor pods. They seem cool, but they also seem like a lot of work. The XKCD, as it's called, core drill to get core samples is good. Yeah, we want that science too. And then this one, dynamic albedo neutrons plus science micro and the gravity. Oh, the gravity one. That's crazy. We want that. So I would need to pay for this science lab upgrade, which is like 1 point. That's pretty much all of my money. Totally worth it though. So what I might do is potentially the heavier rocketry. I don't actually know. I don't know what my next mission will be, but you can always use heavier rockets. What I really want is these colossal rockets. Oh, those are all just couplers anyway. What's the largest engine we get? Quad EMU engine, 50 tons. 72. Oh, that's fuel tank. There's a super ratite engine cluster. 15,400 kilonewtons of thrust. That's a lot. This one's 24,000 though. Gosh, that's just absurd numbers. I mean, eventually, what I really like are the ion propulsion chains. So you get these xenon and argon thrusters, and then you get plasma propulsion. And these things have super high ISP, super high electric charge cost. And so you basically need a nuclear generator just to power them. Like this one, it takes 2,000 electric charge a second, but it has an ISP of 4,000. So you can go pretty much wherever you want. Well, that one has an ISP of 6,000. So there you go. So long term, those are the engines you want, but you need a crazy amount of electric charge to be able to use them. So that's fun. Oh, Argon mode, you can even get more, less thrust, but more ace. So that could be fun to design a mission that can just go to like whatever planet we want to go to. But I think I'm going to call it quits for tonight. We succeeded on our Minmus mission, made a ton of money, made a ton of science, so made some new milestones, which is great. So, sweet. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to call it a stream for tonight, and we might do some more this weekend. Definitely some more Songs of Six, and probably a Factorio video or two, as usual. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think if you're watching on YouTube.